A lot of you wanted to know how I made the change from a radical leftist protesting Donald Trump to a free thinker ready to vote for Trump in the next election. So here's my story. First of all, I do want to say that 17-year-olds do not end up at protests by chance. The people who organize the protests know that young people are the easiest to manipulate, the easiest to convince of radical causes, and the most naive and ready to stand on the side of the street holding a sign, or even worse. I was groomed by someone in his 30s, and he had me do things that put me in harm's way, and I was used as a political pawn as a minor. I admit that I made mistakes. I should not have thought that way. So here's my story. I'm not going to make this video all about why I thought the way I did, more about how I changed and how I grew. I do want to clarify that I've never voted in a presidential election. I have always either been off the grid or abroad, and I've never had the chance to cast a ballot. I started traveling the world. I lived in the Middle East for about a year. I traveled to Africa, and I kept traveling for about 6 years. Nothing will open your mind like travel. A lot of liberals say that they hate America and they're going to leave the country. Well, I actually did. I didn't leave purely motivated by hatred for America. I was more so consumed by wanderlust, and I wanted to travel the world, and I'm so thankful that I did. But I learned that there are billions of people who would do anything to trade places with the most destitute American, because the most destitute American has it better than the majority of people in a lot of third world countries. And that is a lesson that I've never been able to shake. So when I returned from Africa and I started questioning things, a lot of the leftists that I knew and I was friends with, they did not like the questions I was asking. Like, if America's so bad, how come every person I met in Africa was enamored with my passport? They were more patriotic than me. That's when I started to question, like, what if America was great? I started to question things, and the hostility that I was met with from leftists who did not like the questions I was asking, it showed me that there was something that I wasn't supposed to figure out. And then I was walking down the street one night in my hometown, and I was chased by 8 men who all had these. So that showed me that, oh, maybe self-defense is an important thing. Maybe the Second Amendment wasn't evil. Also, I did a road trip from California to Florida, and I was in the passenger seat of a Tesla, and the whole way we were filling up or recharging at solar panels, and I realized, and I'm not a mechanical engineer, but I realized that a tiny solar panel is not enough to charge the car like that. And once again, I'm not a mechanical engineer, I might be wrong, but it seemed like there was a diesel generator next to every solar panel. So this humbled me, because before that I was, everyone needs electric cars, we're gonna destroy the planet. But then I started to realize these electric cars are actually powered by diesel. And Elon Musk, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I totally respect Elon Musk. No matter what the answer is for what those diesel generators were, it helped me start to think, maybe I'm not being told the truth about climate change. Maybe there's more to the picture. It humbled me, just like traveling humbled me, to make me take a step back and think, oh, there's more to the picture that I'm not seeing. Also, in 2020, I moved to California, and I expected to meet all people who thought like me. I thought everyone in California was Democratic, but then I realized a truth that seems to be true all over the world, that leftists gather in the cities, then that gives them more power, and people with common sense live in the rural areas. So I met a lot of good, decent, hardworking farming people that they helped show me the light. I also want to be clear that I did not flip from one extreme to the other, like a lot of the commenters said. No, I would consider myself a moderate, and I would also consider Donald Trump to be a moderate. Saying that America is great is not radical. It is great. And in 2020, I also realized that Donald Trump being at the helm of our metaphorical ship protected us from slipping into tyranny because he is a federalist, because he gave the states rights. I moved to Puerto Rico, and there, the COVID mandates were absolutely insane, and that red pilled me harder than anything. No, I don't need a mask or a card to eat, walk down the street, go swimming in the ocean. No, that really ruffled my feathers, and now I value freedom more than anything in the world. I also realized that the left only has three things: ad hominem attacks, emotional appeal, and appeal to authority. There's no logic, there's no reasoning. It's all manipulation and it's all control. If you want freedom, you would be a Republican. I've realized that Republicans were always my friends, no matter my opinion, but I had a lot of fake leftist friends who, as soon as I started questioning things, they wanted nothing to do with me because those weren't real friendships. Those were cult bonds. Those were trauma bonds. Those were us against the world. Don't question anything. Scare tactics, fear mongering, victim mentality. So I started a business. I wanted to lift myself up. I don't want to be a victim forever. And as I started to realize I'm not oppressed, then my world got so much better. I've been so much happier. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I spent so many years thinking that I was oppressed and my government was oppressing me. Okay, well, go to rural sub-Saharan Africa and meet people in shanty towns, and then come back here in your air conditioning with your purified water and all the amenities that you could ever dream of, and tell me you're oppressed? No, the illusion dissolved. It's over. I'm never going back. Also, in all of my travels, I always got a visa and I always crossed borders legally. So this whole immigration crisis that Biden is creating, that was a huge red pill for me as well, because that is not realistic. There's no country in the world that allows that. If I were to go to Mexico, Nigeria, China, Singapore, anywhere, and overstay my visa, the best case scenario, or enter without a visa, the best case scenario is deportation. That is the best case scenario. There's no other country that lets this happen like this. This is insane. And the final straw that broke the camel's back was I became an author. And as an author and owning a publishing company, I started to do market research, and I realized how terribly authors are treated and how the tentacles of leftism have infiltrated every aspect of the publishing industry, and you just can't do anything right. You can't write this, you can't write that, you can't say this, you can't say that. Well, guess what? I will love J.K. Rowling till the day I die. I continue to be red-pilled because now I'm researching American history. And yes, I learned American history in school, but I thought it was boring and I didn't care. But now I see the value of this great country. Now I see the vision of Alexander Hamilton, and I understand what this country has the potential to become. Thank you for everyone who left nice comments. It's really warms my heart. I was scared to break my silence, but here we are, and we're all in this together, and God save America.